Просто Хамзата в боях ты этого не видишь. Например, с тем же с Камару, с тем же с Гилбертом.
Да.
В поздних раундах он перестает бороться, он уже дерется стойки. Сперва борется, если не получится, дерется стойки.
Welcome back to Striker, guys. Today we've got a major update for you. Before a single punch was thrown at UFC 328, Khabib had already mapped out exactly how Khamzat Chimaev could lose. And then everything unfolded in real time. Sean Strickland defeated Chimaev by split decision. It was razor thin, controversial, and yet somehow completely predictable, depending on who you were listening to beforehand. This is where Khabib's comments start to sound almost prophetic. During a podcast conversation, the undefeated legend from Dagestan explained what he believed was the fundamental difference between his approach and Chimaev's. Khabib said his strategy was always the same. Take the fight to the ground and keep it there. Attempting takedowns is needed. He pointed out that Chimaev does not operate that way.
Ты должен смотреть, а если вот так пойдет, а если вот так пойдет, а если вот сюда зайдем. Ты должен все сценарии смотреть. Просто мне, например, ставить план на бой для меня, не составляло такого труда. У меня был всегда один план. Я заходил, я переводил. Если получится, переведу. Если не получится, я буду 100 раз проходить. Просто Хамзата в боях ты этого не видишь. Например, с тем же с Камару, с тем же с Гилбертом.
Да.
В поздних раундах он перестает бороться, он уже дерется стойки. Сперва борется, если не получится, дерется стойки. Но если он с самого начала бы с этими же ребятами дрался в стойке, он лучше подрался бы. И с тем же Гилбертом, и с тем же с Камару. Не тратя силу.
And it happened almost exactly like that. Chimaev was dominant in the first round, shooting for takedowns and controlling Strickland on the mat. He looked like the unstoppable force everyone had built him up to be. Then round 2 began, and something shifted. Chimaev looked gassed, clearly and visibly tired, and at one point even pulled guard himself after a failed takedown attempt. From that moment on, the fight mostly played out on the feet, which is exactly where Strickland wanted it. Now, there are several explanations circulating about why Chimaev ran out of steam so quickly, and they're all worth examining because they don't necessarily contradict each other. The most discussed explanation involves the weight cut. According to Chimaev's brother, Artur, the situation was genuinely concerning. Chimaev had reportedly been preparing for a fight with former light heavyweight champion Yuri Prochaska at 205 pounds. The contract was apparently already being finalized when the UFC asked him instead to defend his middleweight title against Strickland. He agreed, but at the time he was walking around at roughly 231 pounds, meaning he had to cut all the way down to 185 weeks before the fight. He was still weighing approximately 214 pounds. By fight night, he had only rehydrated about 11 to 13 pounds.
What happened to that guy that was like, I kill everybody,
Yes,
I kill everybody?
yes.
Smash. That's not the guy we saw on Saturday night. What happened?
It wasn't the same guy either when he fought Usman. You could already see that he had, signs of breaking. Same thing with Gilbert. It didn't go his way. He had to stand up with him. He
Like a front runner? You think he's a front runner?
I've always thought he's a front runner. And then the Usman fight more than anything, because I literally had seen Usman like a day or two before he accepted the fight. The man was not training. He was not in tip-top shape. He literally, 11 days later, he gets his fight against a guy that's been training, getting ready for somebody else. Me, in my mind, that's always a big, damn, I have to cut XYZ pounds. I haven't been training. The pressure's on me, and it's not at the same time. And the way that he fought Usman, just because Usman could wrestle back, I knew, this guy's a front runner.
That context makes the fatigue in round 2 much easier to understand. Honestly, Dana White also confirmed at the post-fight press conference that Chimaev himself walked up to him after the loss and said he wanted to move up to light heavyweight and was done competing at 185 pounds. So there was clearly something seriously wrong with how that weight cut went. But then Demetrius Johnson offered a different perspective, one that's harder to dismiss. Johnson pointed to Chimaev's training approach as a possible issue.
My personal opinion, I think he trains too hard. There's a point in time where when you're in shape, you can't get any, your cardio threshold only goes so high, right? So when your cardio, if you're already in shape and you're good to go, your cardio is this high, you can't go any further. You can't, it's just physically, it's impossible. only you're gonna get is diminishing returns, meaning that I need to be able to pop, 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 pop. I fail a takedown, drive, pop, pop, move. I can do all these hard workouts. I have great condition, but can you perform when things are going away?
After everything settled down, Chimaev's camp completely walked back the remarks about changing weight classes. His team told ESPN that a rematch with Strickland is the only fight Khamzat is interested in right now, saying he is obsessed with avenging the loss. Artur also told the media that Khamzat is not the type of person who walks away from unfinished business and suggested a rematch for an October event in Abu Dhabi, which has become a regular destination for the UFC.
حقوق دادم شدیدن چولتی هشت که کندلا پروژه کندلا تا ایدالات سو یشان چولتی تا سگیتینه یشوار چولتی علیت هندات لیچ ولاتت کی چولت تیز و ایدن ولات لچول و ایدالت و بهندینا والله یادن چون هندات تا قد کنت فی باید اما یک کوارت و آتانش این تیر والبخ.
On the reaction side of things, the MMA world had plenty to say. Georges St-Pierre was candid about the result, admitting he was surprised, even though he hadn't completely counted Strickland out beforehand. Pierre suggested that Strickland might need to rethink his nickname at this point, because he keeps pulling off upsets that nobody sees coming. He acknowledged that he personally believed Chimaev was the more skilled fighter going into the matchup, but was quick to point out that being the better fighter and performing better on a given night are two completely different things.
If I would have had to bet my house on that fight, I would have bet on Khamzat. The odds were highly favoring him. But man, he's, what can I say? We need to give him props. Like he pushed hard, and I heard him saying in an interview that he never, before a fight, he never thinks he's gonna win. He always thinks he's gonna lose, and he end up winning. That's pretty crazy. It takes a lot of courage, and he's the kind of guy that rise to the occasion. You know, there's guys that when the lights are on, they crumble. They can't perform. He's the opposite. You know, he rise to the occasion.
Kamaru Usman landed on the opposite side of the debate. He scored the fight for Chimaev by the same narrow margin, arguing that it makes no logical sense to reward a fighter who spent most of the night moving backward and throwing jabs. In Usman's view, Chimaev was the one pressing forward, mixing in overhand shots, and landing 9 takedowns over 5 rounds. And according to him, the fighter walking backward behind a jab should not be the one leaving with the belt.
I do give the fight to Khamzat Chimaev. I say 48-47 Khamzat Chimaev.
I thought Khamzat actually won this fight. I rewatched it. It could have gone 4-1 Chimaev or maybe 3-2 Chimaev as a Patriot American, but I gotta be fair, bro. I had Chimaev winning.
One guy's marching forward. He's throwing jabs as well. He's mixing it up. He's throwing overhands. Get some takedowns in there. And he did this for almost 5 rounds. I don't see how he loses the fight. Listen, hats off to Sean Strickland going out there and getting it done. Man, Henry, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm happy for Strickland. I thought it was super cool that he was able to get a victory over a man that was undefeated. It all came down to that second round. Khamzat, that takedown cost him that fight.
I like both guys. I enjoyed the fight, but I think it was a little lackluster for what this was built up.
So, what do you think about all of this? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more MMA content like this.